Greetings and salutations, fellow humans. Today is the 26th of June, 2025, and I am Thaddeus Satori. I am coming to you alive from Uruguay. Today, I would like to share with you some thoughts on humanity and democracy. Before I begin, though, I should let you know that for the past decade or so, I have been trying to view things as if I were an alien from another planet who has come here to observe humans and then report back. From this cosmic perspective, and that of my human self, I have concluded that we are all insane and it is simply a matter of degrees. I am sorry if this conclusion initially offends you, but please step back and look at it this way. On a personal level, is there really much difference between the person walking down the street muttering out loud about some injustice, and us having a similar internal argument but managing to keep the craziness locked inside our heads? It seems like a fine line to me. And on the collective level, consider this. We have inherited this magnificent planet, this pale blue dot, as Carl Sagan put it, spinning through a universe that is mostly hostile to life, and we appear to be trashing the place like a bunch of drunk frat boys. If that isn't insanity, then I don't know what is. Do you really think this party can go on forever? The other day, I looked up existential threats on the internet and was given the following list: nuclear war, pandemic, climate change, artificial intelligence, environmental degradation, and resource depletion. Other potential threats include asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, and the emergence of new and dangerous technologies. While we have little or no control over some of these perils, we do have a great deal of control over others, and we have even more control over the negative impacts most of these would have on our societies and on our species. Yet we spend vast amounts of time and energy, treasure and innovation, coming up with better ways to kill each other. The scary thing is, in countries where we are fortunate enough to have democracy, many voters prioritize issues that, while very important in how we structure our societies, do not rise to the level of potential extinction. I see many in my home country, the USA, put at the top of their priority lists things like pronouns, immigration, books, gay rights, or even religion. But these issues and many more will be null and void if there are no societies or no people. It appears that we have difficulty in prioritizing. On democracy, Winston Churchill said, quote, "Many forms of government have been tried and will be tried in this world of sin and woe. No one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. Indeed, it has been said that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those other forms that have been tried from time to time." End quote. The French philosopher Voltaire said something that essentially translates to, "Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good." We humans, being imperfect, need to establish systems that counteract our shortcomings and limit our propensity for not doing the right thing. This is what the founding fathers of the USA had in mind when they created the system of checks and balances. You only need look at history, or better yet, current dictatorships around the world, to see that we can easily start to believe in our own personal mythologies. Only I have all the solutions. I am sure that Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Joseph Stalin, Emperor Qin, and countless other leaders felt that this was true, and yet they caused untold death, misery, and suffering, only to die themselves, and the world just kept turning without them. No human can have all the answers. No human is God. Obama ran on hope and change. Trump ran on fear and change. It appears to me that most Americans want change. The problem with change, however, is that it carries with it uncertainty, and with uncertainty comes discomfort at one end of the spectrum and fear at the other. Now, I am no psychologist, but I think it's fair to say that no one wants to come out the other end of change worse off than they were going into it. For those on the bottom or in the middle, the results could go either way. But for those at the top, positive change for people below can only come at their expense. For example, I think that most Americans can agree that our electoral system needs reform, or that corporate profits should be shared more equitably between the people on top and the people who actually do the work. So, it seems crazy to me that we peasants have any expectations that our political and business leaders will, on their own volition, enact changes that would reduce their own personal standing, at least within the value system that most of us have been programmed into believing. While it is possible in rare instances for change to come from the top, more often than not it comes from the bottom. Democracy affords the masses the opportunity to pressure the rulers into making the changes necessary for everyone's survival, including the ruling class, although they don't seem to understand that part. But both hope and fear eventually run into reality. So please, for the sake of our children and grandchildren, let us together choose an issue or three that will shore up the underpinning of our system and further guard against our worst human tendencies. Please take the time to make a list of the most foundational changes that you see as necessary, so that later changes, those that address your personal societal issues, can be made. It is impossible that everyone will have an identical list, so there will have to be compromise. But together, we can come up with a good place to begin. For example, if I were the dictator of America for a week, I would enact term and age limits on elected officials and the Supreme Court. I would get rid of the Electoral College, limit campaigns to 1 month for the primaries and 1 month for the general elections, declare national 2-day holidays for voting in both elections, and replace lobbying with town halls where everyone is invited, including lobbyists, just to name a few. But what do you think are the 2 or 3 most basic changes that we need to focus on in order for other changes to follow? Where do you think we should begin? I am certainly willing to compromise. After all, I won't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. That's all I've got for now. In the near future, I hope to put out a podcast of free advice to any political party that might wish to adopt some of my ideas. Meantime, stay safe and take care of the people around you. Cheers for now.